I now recognize Mr. David Scott from Georgia.
Yes, I'd like to just pick up on the line of questioning of my good friend Austin Scott, because we're going to have to do something about making sure we have adequate coverage for timber, for our pine trees especially. Georgia has a ton of pine trees. All over the South, we have these trees. And it's often times, you know, if someone has, let's say, 50 acres of just pine trees, it's almost like a savings account, or maybe help for a child's tuition to college for farmers. And we're not adequately providing coverage for them. With crop insurance generally not available for trees of that respect, growers have been forced to rely on disaster assistance, which God knows we know from this recent situation in Congress. It not only is slow in coming, it is almost criminal to our farmers, the fact of what happened in the last couple of years here. In Georgia, many of our farmers have not had a crop in 2 years because of back-to-back hurricanes. But because of the slowness in getting the financial disaster. So my question is, what do you think will be the challenges and opportunities in creating a crop insurance product for privately held timber? Would you share with us? Anybody? That may be a slight indication of the problem.
Congressman,
Could such a product be, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't know anything about timber. I don't know anything about pecans, but I've been dealing with crop insurance for darn near 35 years. The success with any policy always starts at the grassroots. If you try and push it from the top down, it doesn't work. My suggestion would be to get a few agents in your area and a few farmers that are passionate about this and come together, come up with an idea, take it to an AIP, all AIPs, NCIS, and see if you can develop a policy through the 508H, through NCIS, something, because if it comes from the bottom up, you'll have something that works that you can deliver. If it comes from the top down, it will not work and you can't deliver. And that's spoken from somebody that's been on APH task force changes, trend-adjusted yields, and I was very involved in getting the revenue policies put through. And trust me, I was told time and time again it couldn't be done. I don't know anything about your issues, but I know how to start the process to help you.
So do you think crop insurers would be interested in such a product?
They are always interested in a product if there is a market for it. If there is a need, there can be developed, but it's going to take some heavy lifting to figure out how to do that and do it. And you referenced it in your talk about creating a health savings account. Maybe that crop is appraised and valued, and it's an ongoing premium that's paid small amounts every year. I mean, I'm just thinking out of the top of my head, but I don't know your issue, and I am mindful that they do the standard reinsurance agreement. These companies have to take risk.
Do you, because we got a problem here, the farmers out there, and when these things happen, we're going to get floods, we're going to get hurricanes, we're going to get all of this, and we're not taking the best interests of the farmer into consideration. I mentioned earlier the haphazard way and the slowness that this Congress moved with the federal disaster aid. That's all the farmer's got. He's got crop insurance or he's got disaster aid. Let me ask you, do you see any tension between the disaster aid and supplemental defense, disaster aid coming from us and the crop insurance coming from you? Any tensions there?
I do not see it in my area because my farmers understand they cannot rely on ad hoc disaster. We went from, 2015 or 2005 to 2016 with no ad hoc disaster. We've already paid farmers for their 2019 prevent plant. They know the majority of their income's coming from crop insurance. We have an exceptional event in our area, and it certainly sounds to me like you have an exceptional event. We have to be mindful there's a social perspective that no insurance company can cover, and that's why we need to figure out a cost share and a policy. It pains me to hear that your farmers in 2018 didn't get paid. We're already paying our guys in 19. That's very sad.
Well,
We need
thank
to
you
step
very
up.
much. And our farmers need all the help we can give them. Thank you, ma'am.